Stroud versus Jackson Saturday, divisional round. Texans at Ravens. Welcome to the Blitz Show, brought to you by Covers, where Derek Carty and his Blitz projections look to pick off the best plus EV plays for every primetime game. Derek, efficient markets last week, obviously with only 6 games, but the Blitz comes out plus 4.94 units. That's nothing new, plus 15% ROI on the season. Not just picking random games, primetime games that I've seen a lot of money into the markets. So let's keep it rolling. Houston, 9.5-point dog, 43.5 total, going down, a little bit of wind, no rain, a little bit of cold, but let's get right into the plays. Okay, before we get to there, one thing I've noticed about the Blitz, and anybody who's followed, and we talk about it often, it's not like we're releasing the secrets, but game script plays a gigantic factor. But it doesn't every game. There's other situations where game script isn't it, and this could be a spot that the Blitz likes. Maybe some rushing. Let's go. Devin Singletary, over 56.5 rushing yards, minus 113, Bet Rivers. That's a play at the time of recording on Thursday afternoon. No competition for running back snaps. 75% last week, 13 of 14 running back carries before the backups came in. Why does the Blitz like a 9.5-point dog rushing yards in a situation, or maybe the market's overcorrected, a giant favorite in this spot?
Yeah, it's pretty rare that we're going to be betting rushing yard overs for this big of an underdog, but you take what the market gives you, and the market has set Singletary too low. Like you said, he gets all of the work, Dameon Pierce has basically been just written off entirely. Singletary is projected here by the Blitz for about 20 carries. His carry market is 15 or 16, depending on where you look, which if you try to figure out what that means in terms of his yardage, he only needs like 3 or 3.5 yards per carry just on those 15 or 16 to get to this number. If he gets the 20 that the Blitz thinks, he's going to go over by a lot. The Blitz is projecting about 80 here. This is a Houston offense that is going on the road. They're going outside of their dome. The weather is not favorable for passing. It's going to be cold. Like you said, it's going to be windy, 15, 20, maybe more than that winds. The Blitz sees them, not going run heavy, but at least kind of being more neutral-ish than you'd normally expect based on the game script because of the other factors. And so, even with just a modest amount of, a modest percentage of rushing plays, with Singletary getting all the work, he should still get enough to get over this number. And if the game script flips at all, if they keep it a close game or they happen to play from ahead, then it's a layup.
Yeah, 56.5 is a small number for a guy getting all the carries in that situation. We talk about splits and people just throw it out there being meaningless, but going from indoors where we obviously increase pass efficiency, pass volume, going outdoors, this is where you can see the benefit on the other side. It's usually us betting overs on indoor game script, but now on the outside with the weather conditions here, it's certainly
absolutely. It works both ways.
Yep, exactly. CJ Stroud in the correlated play, under 242.5 passing yards, minus 101 Caesars. That's a play on your end. Tell me if I'm wrong in that situation. That's a play?
That's a play.
Fantastic. But how much does this correlate, obviously, with the potential game script and the rushing volume?
It kind of has a lot to, it's a very similar play to Singletary. This is a game where, again, they're on the road, they're outdoors, they're outside of the dome. It's a weather situation. Stroud had obviously a great week last week, and I feel like the market maybe overreacted to that a little bit. Was probably not quite as good as his numbers indicated. He's facing a tough Baltimore offense, and Noah Brown is out now. Played a drive or two last week. Now he's on IR. Dell has been out for a while. Like they're missing a bunch of their guys, and they're facing a tough defense in tough conditions. Really, the only thing working for Stroud here is the game script. And if we're lucky, maybe they keep it closer, and Stroud doesn't have to throw 15 times in the fourth quarter. So either way, though, when you account for kind of the probability of all the different scenarios, the Blitz sees this as a good bet. It's projecting Stroud for 205 yards, so we're getting a good amount under the line here, and I like it.
One thing that stuck in my head after the Houston-Cleveland game, that was the number one defense in success rate, EPA per play, Obviously, the home road splits things got blown out of the water proportion. It was a good defense. One thing that stuck with me this year was you saying how you judge defenses. It's a noisy thing, week to week, game to game. It's a hard to predict thing. Like if Houston comes in here, Houston might be able to keep this a little tighter than people think. I don't know. Do you have any, like, can you quantify like what it's like for like these guys to be off since December 31st? Like they had the bye week. I mean, it's hard when there's not a lot of sample size, but is it something better should be noticing?
It's difficult to quantify. It really is. I don't have anything definitive to say one way or the other. You could certainly make the case that they're going to be, a little rusty. You could also make the case that they're going to be rested and they've had a lot of time to prepare. And like, you can build the narrative either way. I haven't seen data to support either one.
So usually when you have arguments on both sides, it's kind of a moot point, maybe?
It can be.
Yeah. All right, so let's get those in for the early game. Devin Singletary over 56.5 rushing yards, minus 113. That's a play. CJ Stroud under 242.5 passing yards, minus 101. Also a play. That will do it for us here on the Blitz Show, brought to you by Covers. I'm Josh Ingles. He's Derek Carty. We'll be back here Saturday night. Love versus Purdy.